Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer and today I'm gamesplaining Scythe. Scythe is a neo-futuristic historical game. It's set in the 1920s after the Great War in Eastern Europa, they call it, or if you wish to translate that as Eastern European, it's got a bit of an Eastern European vibe about it with the artwork. It's fabulous artwork. But at the same time, it utilises things called mechs or big robot attacking machines that will attack or defend your workers for you. In essence, this is a Euro game of worker placement. So you're placing your workers out to create resources, which you then use those resources to build other stuff and keep growing your areas for your particular faction. Each faction is slightly different, though very similar. So every player has a faction card and a player mat. None of them are identical, so each faction has a couple of its own specific unique skills that are similar to other people's skills but slightly different, and each player mat has the same stuff on it but in slightly different orders. The way the game plays is you have on your player mat there's two levels of action. There's a top level action and a bottom level action. So you choose which of the four squares you're going to go to and play the top level action, and then you can, once you've done that, then you can use the bottom level action. To keep the game moving, once everyone kind of understands what they're doing, it's advisable for you to, as soon as you've played that top level action, next player can start while you do your bottom level action. Because of the Euro-ness of this game, I guess, it is a little bit of a point salad. There's about 10 different ways that you can gain stars, and stars are really, as soon as you get 6 stars used or you achieve 6 goals, that's as soon as one player achieves those 6 goals, that's the end of the game. That's not how to win the game, but that's how to finish the game. And those stars for achievements are worth points at the end of the game. So obviously the more of them you can get out earlier, the better off you're going to be. The winner of the game is actually the person with the most money at the end of the game. So it's really worthwhile keeping that in mind. There are other elements like popularity. So you've got to stay popular with the locals. There are things you can do that are going to make you unpopular, and you're going to lose popularity gradually by doing them. But there's other things you can do which you can gain popularity. The scoring mechanism at the end of the game is the more popularity that you have, the more each element is potentially worth. So there's 3 different levels of value within those popularity, within that popularity track, that will really adjust how well or poorly each bit scores. Now, depending on what faction you get, you will probably be driven towards doing going after certain goals. Within the way you play. There's no one correct way, one incorrect way. I've played this game a couple of times where I've looked at the board and I feel like I really haven't achieved much because I'm only staying within 3 or 4 different hexes of space, so I haven't actually taken over too much territory, but I've still managed to win simply because I've managed to accrue a lot of money through the game, through various other ways. So while you're playing the game, you may think you're absolutely losing, but you actually might be winning. So it's a really wonderful game. The time on the game, it says 115 minutes. It's a 2 to 5 player game. There is a expansion available at the moment which expands it up to 7 players, and there's another really cool expansion that's due to come out later this year that I'm really looking forward to. But we're on the base game, so 2 to 5 players. With 4 players, we played it dead on the time of 115 minutes, so just short of the 2 hours. This game seems really super heavy when you're trying to explain it to people, but it actually plays really quickly and really easily once you're started. The rules actually suggest that on your first game you shouldn't be trying to win, you should be just playing to play. Play to learn the game. If one player does one action on their first turn, you probably should do a different action just to see exactly what happens with that, exactly how these actions all work out. There's a card that each player will have which helps them out and kind of gives suggestions for what to do. It's try an action out. Okay, now that you've tried an action out, have a look at your bottom row and see if you can work towards one of those bottom row actions. And then once you've done that, try and work towards one of your goals. So everyone has 2 specific goals that they're trying to get that no one else knows about, so it's worth having a look at them and seeing if you can work towards those goals. Then it's kind of pick 6 of the 10 things on that top track that you're trying to achieve with those stars and really work towards them. Find a way to work towards them. And that's a really beautiful thing about the rule set on this. While it's quite a thick rule book, it actually plays fairly simply once you understand it. Which, I mean, I guess is the case with many games, but this one in particular, it feels like it just flows so easily. I've got to say, Scythe has quickly become one of my favourite games. One of those games I really want to get to the table with lots and lots of players. I haven't yet tried to get it to the table with new players, but I feel like if you can get them past the Gamesplanation, you'll have a really good time out of it. And so it's about finding what part of the Gamesplanation actually needs to be known in order to start the game. There are a number of little questions that I've found come up during the play. So for example, when there's a battle between 2 players and they both end up on the same thing, who wins? The answer to that is actually the attacker, by the way. But if you then have to go and find that rule, it's a little bit of finicky reading. It's in the rulebook. It's set up very well, so you can go straight to the attack section, but then you have to read cast your eye over a few paragraphs to actually find the answers to those small questions. But that's really the way the game is intended to be played, that you'll come up against something like that that goes, oh, there feels like there should be a rule for this, or I'm sure there's a rule for this. Go and find it, you work out the rule, and then you know it, and everyone knows what's going on for the next time that particular event happens. I cannot recommend this game strongly enough. I really feel like everyone should own a copy of this. It feels like there's a huge hotness surrounding this particular game. And actually, any of the James Tegmeyer games, as they come out, he seems to really be on the ball. So I'd look out for his games and probably just purchase them without even thinking, to be honest with you. Just off the back of this one, I think it's such a well-fashioned game. It's beautiful art. The mechanisms of how the game plays are really well thought through. I can't recommend it enough. I think that's enough of me waxing lyrical about this particular game. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below in the comments section. Please subscribe to my videos so you can keep up to date with what games I'm gamesplaining. If you have any games that you wish to be gamesplained, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram to see what games I've been playing. And until next time, enjoy gaming.